Good morning, children. Today we are going to learn a new lesson in chemistry, that is P block elements 1. These elements are called as P block elements because the new coming electron enters into the outermost orbital, p orbital of these elements. The general electronic configuration of P block elements is Ns2 Np1 to 6. And the groups from 13th to 18th groups constitute the P block elements in the modern periodic table. So children, in P block elements, the new coming electron or the entering electron enters into the outermost p orbital of the elements, and so these elements are grouped as P block elements. And P block elements in the modern periodic table starts from 13th group to 18th group, from boron family to inert gases. Okay. This is modern periodic table proposed by Moseley. Here, where is P block elements? P block, where is P block, children? Yes, it is present in the extreme right hand side of the modern periodic table. 3rd A group, 4th A group, 5th A group, 6th A, 7th A, and it is 8th A, or it is 0 group. What are groups in a periodic table? The vertical columns in the periodic table are called as groups, and the horizontal rows in the periodic table are called as periods. Totally 7 periods and 18 groups are there in the modern periodic table. Depending upon the properties of the elements, this modern periodic table is arranged. Carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, phosphorus, sulfur, they are also non-metals. Okay, children. So, in modern periodic table, the position of P block elements is in the extreme right hand side of the modern periodic table. A P block element may be either metal or non-metal or even metalloid. Then the elements which are present at the bottom of the P block element series, they are having more metallic character than the metals which are present at the upper part of the P block elements in the modern periodic table. This is P block elements block. P block alone here. You can understand deeply here about P block elements. Yellow colored elements are metalloids. Okay, first let me read out the elements of P block. Please follow. Boron family, 13th group. Okay, boron family, boron. So it starts with the element boron, followed by aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. Okay, children. So in 13th group or boron family, they are also called as icosagens. Boron family is also called as icosagens. So it starts with the element boron, followed by aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium. Coming to 14th group, tetragens, starts with the element carbon, followed by silicon, germanium, tin, and lead. Coming to 15th group, pnictogens or nitrogen family, pnictogens. The first element in 15th group is nitrogen. So element nitrogen, followed by phosphorus, arsenic, antimony, bismuth. Okay, children. Coming to 15th group, oxygen family. They are ore producers. They are called as ore producers or chalcogens. So the first element in 15th group is oxygen, followed by sulfur, selenium, tellurium, polonium. Polonium. Okay. Then coming to the element, the family, fluorine family, that is halogens, 17th group. It is halogens. Halogens are salt producers. Halogens are salt producers. So it starts with the element, the most electronegative element, fluorine. Fluorine followed by chlorine, bromine, iodine, astatine. Okay, children. So these elements constitute the family called halogens. The next family is rare gases or inert gases or zero group elements, 18th group elements. Starts from helium, then neon, argon, krypton, xenon, radon. So in this slide you can see which are metals, which are non-metals, and which are metalloids. Yellow colored elements are metalloids: boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium and astatine. They are all metalloids. They exhibit the characters of both metals and non-metals, and that's why they are called as metalloids. The elements which are lying at the bottom of p block elements, they exhibit more metallic character. They are more metallic in nature. What measures the metallic character of an element, children? How do we say that element to be metallic and some elements to be non-metallic? How do we say? How do we classify them as metals and non-metals? Metals are electropositive in nature. The elements which have the ability to lose their electrons are said to be electropositive, and those elements which are electropositive in nature are called as metals. The elements which have the tendency to attract shared pair of electrons towards themselves are said to be more electronegative than the other elements, and those elements are said to be non-metals. Okay, children. So, for your easy understanding, a metal is ready to donate its electron and become a cation. So, metals are electropositive. Coming to non-metals, a non-metallic element is ready to accept an electron, accept a lone pair of electron, accept a pair of electrons. So non-metals are ready to accept electrons and become anions. So non-metals are more electronegative than the metals. What is electronegativity, children? It is a periodic property of the elements in the periodic table in which the elements have a strong tendency to attract the shared pair of electrons towards themselves. So that property of nonmetals is called as electronegativity. So the elements which are given in this slide as blue color, they are non-metals. Yellow colored elements are metalloids. Okay, children? I hope you have understood this. So the 18th group elements are noble gases. Yes, they are also called as rare gases or noble gases, and they belong to 0 group or 18th group. Okay, children? What is the importance of these p block elements? Why should we know about these p block elements? What is the need for knowledge of this p block elements? What is the use of these p block elements? These p block elements are very, very important for our day-to-day life. Molecular oxygen, O2. What is molecular oxygen, children? What is the formula for molecular oxygen? It is O2. Without O2, there can be no life. O2 is the gas which we inhale while breathing. So without oxygen, molecular oxygen, no life is possible. So this p block contains oxygen. The element oxygen belongs to p block element. So this P block is very, very important. Aluminium. The metal aluminium is useful in making household vessels. Then package items, food packing materials are made with aluminium foils. And aircraft parts, duralumin, an alloy of aluminium called duralumin, is used in the making of aircraft wings and also some parts of aeroplanes. So the metal aluminium is very, very important. It is present in P block elements. So P block elements are very important. Silicon and germanium, they are called as semiconductors, and they find their use in the making of silicon chips, in the making of computers. So P block elements are very, very important. Okay, children. So the knowledge about P block elements is very important, because without the elements of P block we cannot lead a happy life. We cannot lead a life because molecular oxygen is present in P block. Okay. Next, we are going to learn the general trends in the properties of P block elements. Let us start with the electronic configuration and oxidation state. The general electronic configuration of P block elements is NS2 NP126. Okay, children. So this is the general electronic configuration of P block elements. NS2 NP126. What is that N? N is principal quantum number, and N stands for the shell of that electron, shell in which the electron is present. First shell, second shell, third shell, like that. So the general electronic, you have to memorize this. The general electronic configuration of P block elements is NS2 NP126. It means the outermost shell, p orbital, NP, may have 1 electron, sometimes 2 electrons, sometimes 3, 4, 5, up to 6. Not more than 6. Okay. Can you recall? See, the maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in s orbital is 2. The maximum number of electrons that can be accommodated in p orbital is 6. For d orbital, 10. For f orbital, 14. It increases by 4. For s it is 2. For p it is 6. For d it is 10. For f it is 14. Okay, children. Okay. Then coming to the oxidation state of P block elements. The P block elements, they have got, in general, they have got positive oxidation states. Some P block elements also have negative oxidation states. Fluorine has got a negative oxidation state. No, what is its oxidation state? -1. Oxidation state of fluorine is -1. What does this oxidation state stand for, children? What is the other name for oxidation state? Oxidation number. Valency. Valency is nothing but oxidation state of an element. Minus indicates that it has the tendency to gain electron. It is a non-metal. For non-metals, the oxidation states are in minus. For metals, oxidation states are in plus. Okay. So here, and also oxygen, which is familiar to us. Oxygen, what is the oxidation number of oxygen, children? -2. So 2 is the valency of oxygen, and that minus stands for the ability to gain electron, attract electrons towards itself. Okay. Can you give an example for a P block element with positive oxidation state? Yes, aluminium 3+. Aluminium 3+. Aluminium is a metal, that's why it has got plus oxidation state. Ability to donate 3 electrons. So it has got an oxidation number as +3. Okay. So the general electronic configuration of P block elements is NS2 NP126. It's not 1 minus 6, it is 1 to 6. It means the NP orbital can accommodate electrons from 1 to 6. Then coming to the oxidation state of p block elements, the p block elements have got both positive and negative oxidation states. If the p block elements are metals, then they possess positive oxidation state. If they are non-metals, they possess negative oxidation state. Here group number, group name, then their general outer electronic configuration, highest oxidation state and the other observed oxidation states are given. Group number 13. So children, here in p block elements ranging from 13th group to 18th group are called as p block elements. The first group here is 13 followed by 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So 13th group is nothing but boron family. Its group name is icosagens. For carbon family, tetragens. For nitrogen family, pnictogens. For oxygen family, chalcogens. For halogen family, for fluorine family, it is halogens. For inert gases, for rare gases, it is inert gases. Okay. Coming to the general electronic configuration, for 13th group, the general electronic configuration is Ns2Np1. Okay, children. Count the outermost number of outer electrons. How many electrons are there in the outermost shell? 2 plus 1, it is 3. Okay. So, the group number and the valency of the elements are same. What is valency? The combining capacity of an element is called as its valency. Or we can define valency of an element to be the number of electrons present in the outermost shell of an element is called as its valency. Here 3 electrons are present. 2 plus 1, 3. So it is having the valency 3. General electronic configuration for 13th group element is Ns2Np1. For 14th group it is Ns2Np2. What is the valency of carbon? 2 plus 2, it is 4. I hope you can understand. Here carbon belongs to which group? 14th group, carbon C. What is its atomic number? 6. Mass number 12. So here carbon belongs to tetragens, 14th group. Its general electronic configuration is Ns2Np2. For 15th group, general electronic configuration is Ns2Np3. For oxygen family chalcogens, it is Ns2Np4. For halogens, Ns2Np5. For inert gases, Ns2Np6. The p orbital is completely filled. So, they are also called as noble gases. Coming to the oxidation states, the elements, the highest oxidation state is nothing but, see, for example, if an element belongs to 13th group, 3 plus 3 is the highest oxidation state. If an element belongs to 14th group, plus 4 is the highest oxidation state. If an element belongs to 15th group, plus 5 is the highest oxidation state. So like that, for 16th group it is plus 6, for 17th group it is plus 7, and for 18th group the highest oxidation state is plus 8. The other observed oxidation states for 13th group are plus 1. Plus 1. See, how do we write that? Look at the third column, children. General outer electronic configuration we are having no. For 13th group it is Ns2Np1. So, Ns2, the S shell is, S orbital is completely filled. Maximum it can hold only 2 electrons, so it is completely filled. Coming to the p orbital, it has got 1 unpaired electron. So, the elements of 13th group are ready to lose that 1 electron. So, in addition to plus 3 oxidation state, the elements of 13th group also possess plus 1 oxidation state. Okay, then coming to 14th group, look at the electronic configuration. Look at the electronic configuration NS2, NP2. So here two electrons present in p orbital are ready to be donated. So the other observed oxidation state here is +2, and it has the tendency to gain 4 electrons so that it gets octet configuration, NP6 configuration. I am talking about 14th group, NS2, NP2 is the general electronic outer electronic configuration. So that those two electrons present in NP orbital are ready to be donated, and it also has the tendency to gain 4 electrons so that the p orbital becomes NP6. So it has got +2 as well as -4 oxidation states. Coming to 15th group, tendency to lose 3 electrons and tendency to gain 3 electrons. So it has got +3 and -3 oxidation states. Coming to chalcogens family, it has got the ability to donate 4 electrons, ability to donate 2 electrons present in NS orbital, and the ability to gain 2 electrons in NP orbital, so that it becomes NP6. So its other oxidation states are +4, +2 and -2. Coming to halogens, NS2 NP5 has the tendency to NP5, no? So it has the tendency to lose 5 electrons. It has the tendency to lose 5 electrons, gain 1 electron, lose 1 electron, and also lose 3 electrons. See, NS2, NP5. See, from NP5, if we remove 3 electrons, it becomes NS2, NP3, NP2. Am I right? See, listen children, we are talking about halogens. Outer electronic configuration is NS2, NP5. See, if we remove 3 electrons from NP orbital, it becomes NP2. Then what happens? From NS2 orbital, 1 electron moves to the NP orbital, so that it becomes NP3, half-filled orbital. Half-filled. So it is more stable when compared to NP2. NP3 configuration is more stable when compared to NP2, because NP3 is half-filled configuration of p orbital. P3 is half-filled orbital configuration, half-filled configuration of the orbital, whereas P6 is completely filled or fully filled orbital. Okay, so +3 oxidation state is also there for halogens. Coming to inert gases, they have got 0 oxidation state. So here NS2, NP6 is the general electronic configuration, outermost electronic configuration. So the inert gases have the ability to donate 6 electrons, gain 2 electrons, not gaining. They have, see, that is losing only, not gaining. 6 electrons present in NP orbital can be donated, 2 electrons present in NS orbital can be donated, and coming to +4 oxidation state, NP, from NP6 we can remove 4 electrons, so it becomes NS2, then NP2. Listen carefully children, in inert gases the general electronic configuration is NS2 NP6. Outermost configuration is NS2 NP6. I am explaining the 5th column, how do we get +6, +4 and +2. Okay, see, +6 oxidation state is available because the 6 electrons present in NP orbitals can be donated, so +6. And also +2 because the 2 electrons present in NS orbitals can also be donated. So it becomes NS0, NP0. That is also possible in the case of inert gases. So it has got +6 and +2 oxidation state. Coming to +4 oxidation state, if we remove 4 electrons from NP orbitals, it becomes NS2, NP2. Then 1 electron from the inner S orbital. moves to the p orbital and gains the electronic configuration as ns1 np3, half filled electronic configuration for p orbital, which is more stable when compared to np2. So inert gases also have got the oxidation number +4. Is it okay, children? Okay. Now coming to the next periodic trend in p block elements, it is metallic character. The elements which are present at the bottom of the p block elements are more metallic in nature when compared to the elements which are present at the top of the p block elements. Some metalloids like boron, silicon, germanium, arsenic, antimony, tellurium, astatine are also present in p block elements. Boron is a metalloid. Coming to the 13th group, boron is a metalloid, whereas aluminium is a metal, gallium is a metal, indium is a metal, and thallium is a metal. So when you move from top to bottom in a group, the metallic character increases. Metallic character increases, and when we compare the metallic characters of aluminium, gallium, and indium and thallium, the metallic character shows a marginal difference only. The increase is not very high. The metallic nature from aluminium, gallium, indium to thallium is not very high, but there is a marginal difference from aluminium to gallium to indium to thallium in metallic character. Coming to 14th group, carbon is a non-metal. Carbon is a non-metal, silicon, germanium are metalloids, tin and lead are metals. Coming to 15th group, nitrogen, phosphorus are non-metals, arsenic and antimony are metalloids, whereas bismuth is a metal. Coming to 15th group, oxygen, sulfur, selenium are non-metals, tellurium is a metalloid and polonium is a metal, radioactive element. Coming to 17th group, halogens, fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, all are non-metals, whereas astatine is a metalloid. Coming to noble gases, all are non-metals, all are gases. Okay, children. So this is the metallic nature of p block elements. Coming to ionization enthalpy. Ionization enthalpy, it is the minimum amount of energy required to remove the most loosely bound electron from the outermost shell of an atom. So that is called as ionization energy or ionization enthalpy. Ionization, the amount of energy, the minimum amount of energy that is required to convert an atom, a gaseous atom, in the minimum amount of energy that is needed to convert an atom into its ion is called as ionization enthalpy. Metals are electropositive, non-metals are electronegative. When we talk about the ionization enthalpy in group 13, children, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, all these are metals. Aluminium prefers to be present in +3 oxidation state, whereas thallium that prefers to be present in +1 oxidation state. The main difference is because of the change in their size and the presence of d and f orbitals. The electrons present in d and f orbitals provide poor shielding, and as a result, see, what about the ionization enthalpy when we move from top to bottom in the periodic table? It decreases. Ionization enthalpy decreases from top to bottom in the periodic table because the size of the atom increases. In boron, the size is very small because of high nuclear charge. High nuclear charge, as a result, the electrons are very closely bound to the nucleus. And the size of boron is also very small compared to the other elements in 13th group. So children, the ionization enthalpy of boron is higher when compared to the other elements present in the periodic table. Not periodic table, in the group, 13th group. Boron is having a higher ionization energy when compared to aluminum, gallium, indium and thallium. Why? Mainly because of the size. Boron is small sized when compared to the other elements in the group. As a result, the electrons are loosely bound to the nucleus and it's very easy to knock out an electron from the element. So ionization enthalpy decreases from top to bottom in the periodic table. When we move down the group, the ionization enthalpy decreases. Coming to 14th group, carbon is a non-metal, silicon, germanium are metalloids, tin and lead are metals. So the ionization enthalpy of tin and lead are lower when compared to the other elements in 14th group. This gradation is followed in the other groups also, children. Okay, so what about the metallic character, children? When we move down the group, the metallic character increases. When we move down the group, ionization enthalpy decreases. What is electronegativity? It is the tendency of an element to attract the shared pair of electrons towards itself. Non-metals are highly electronegative, whereas the metals are highly electropositive. So when we move from top to bottom in the periodic table, when we move from top to bottom in the periodic table, or when we move down the group, the electronegativity value decreases. From left to right, metallic character decreases. From left to right, ionization enthalpy increases. From left to right, electronegativity value increases in the modern periodic table. From left to right means along the period. Okay, along the period, down the group. Okay. I hope you have understood this slide, children. So 4 general trends in the modern periodic table we have seen. What are the 4 properties of p block elements we have learnt? Electronic configuration, general electronic configuration and oxidation state, metallic character, ionization enthalpy and electronegativity. See, when talking about electronegativity, children, look at 17th group halogens. Fluorine is the most electronegative element. Then moving down the group, the electronegativity decreases. Okay, from top to bottom, that is down the group, the electronegativity decreases, and from left to right along the period, electronegativity increases. Anomalous properties of the first elements in the p block elements. See, boron family, we call the elements which come after boron to be boron family. The elements which follow carbon to be carbon family, nitrogen family, oxygen family. So like that we are calling, no, we give the name. So why do we call boron family? After boron, aluminium is there. Why don't we call aluminium family? We are calling it as boron family. Why? Because boron has got some special characters which makes it to stand apart from the other elements, and that's why that family is called as boron family. It has got some special characters like small size, high ionization enthalpy and high electronegativity, and the absence of d orbitals in their valence shell. So these 3 are the main characters or the anomalous properties of the first elements in the p block elements, and that's why the elements which follow them, which come after them, are named as boron family, carbon family, nitrogen family, oxygen family. By telling the first element in the group, they are named like that. So mainly because of the small size of the first member. For example, if we take boron family, boron is the first member. Carbon family, carbon is the first member. So they possess anomalous properties different properties from the rest of the elements which follow them, and so the first elements in the p block elements are looking like leaders or the representatives of a class. When you stand in an assembly, when you assemble for an assembly prayer, how do you stand? First, the representative of the class stands, followed by other members of the class. Similarly, here in P block elements also, the leader, the representative of the family stands first, of the group stands first, then the members of that family stand behind, follow. Okay, so these 3 points are very, very important, and this question is repeatedly asked, 3-mark question, children. Anomalous properties of the first elements in the P block elements. First one is small size of the first member. Second one is high ionization enthalpy and high electronegativity. Third point is absence of d orbitals in their valence shell. What is their valence shell? P orbital. Since their valence shell is p orbital, they are called as P block elements. Okay, so these 3 points memorize. Okay, so in connection with the anomalous properties, how they are called as anomalous, that is proved by the following slides. First one is boron shows diagonal relationship with silicon. Boron is present in 13th group and silicon is present in 14th group. Boron and silicon, they have got similar properties like oxides of boron and silicon are acidic in nature. Boron and silicon, they form covalent hydrides and which can be easily hydrolyzed, except boron trifluoride. So since boron and silicon, they have got similar properties, they are said to have diagonal relationship. Since boron and silicon have some properties like these two properties to be similar, they are said to have some relationship. Since they are present diagonally in the periodic table, these two elements are said to have diagonal relationship. What are the similar properties? Oxides of boron and silicon are acidic in nature. Boron and silicon form covalent hydrides which can be easily hydrolyzed, except boron trifluoride. Okay. Next one is carbon family. See, carbon differs from the other elements in these ways. Carbon is a non-metal, whereas silicon, germanium are metalloids. Tin and lead are metals. Carbon has the ability to form multiple bonds like C double bond C, C double bond O. Whereas the other elements in the carbon family, they don't possess this property. Carbon has the tendency to form a chain of bonds with itself and also with the other elements, which is called as catenation. Catenation property of carbon. It is highest for carbon, then for silicon, then germanium and tin are almost equal, then lead has got the least catenating property. So these properties of carbon make it a representative for carbon family. Next one is oxygen and nitrogen and oxygen families. Coming to nitrogen family, nitrogen has got the tendency to form multiple bonds with the other elements. N double bond N, C double bond N, N double bond O. So all these signify the ability of nitrogen element to form multiple bonds with the other elements, which is not possible in the case of the other members of nitrogen family. Nitrogen is diatomic unlike the other members of the group. So these properties make the element nitrogen to stand apart from the other members of the group. Coming to oxygen family, oxygen is diatomic in nature, O2. Similarly, like nitrogen is also diatomic, N2. What is the molecular state of nitrogen, children? N2. How do we represent oxygen molecule? O2. So it is diatomic. Two atoms constitute a molecule, so it is diatomic. And oxygen family, oxygen is highly electronegative in nature, and that's why it's useful in the formation of hydrogen bonds, which is not exhibited by the rest other members of oxygen family. Okay, so these are the anomalous properties of oxygen and nitrogen in nitrogen and oxygen families. Coming to halogens, fluorine is the most electronegative element and it is the strongest oxidizing agent. The most reactive member among the halogens is fluorine. It has got -1 oxidation state, whereas the others have got the oxidation states like +1, +3, +5 and +7 oxidation states. Others have got plus oxidation states, children, whereas fluorine, the first element in first member of halogens group is fluorine. It has got negative oxidation state. It is a very good oxidizing agent, the most electronegative agent, most reactive element of the members of the most reactive element of halogens. Okay, so these properties of fluorine make it stand apart, away from the other members of halogens. I hope you might have understood today's class, children. Thank you, children.